So we talked a little bit about functions and just did a brief introduction to how you can tell whether a relationship is a function or not, and what defines a function. Now, and I showed in the previous one that it can be written as a dependent variable is equal to some form of a independent variable and possibly a constant or something like that. So uh, that's one possible way to represent a function. Now you could also show it as, instead of y, you could say, and they are also shown as f of x. And that's how you say this, f of x, a function of x, and then is equal to some relationship out here. And f of x and y or some other variable out here can be used interchangeably. And just all this says is this this value of this function of x depends on your value of your variable here. And there's a couple questions here where we're being asked to evaluate this, which will demonstrate how this is actually used. So we have a question here, evaluate and simplify, and we're given the function f of x equals negative 2x squared plus x minus 5, and we're being asked to evaluate it at f negative 11. Well, all we have to do when we're given something like this, it says, okay, evaluate this function f at negative 11, is anywhere that there's an x, we substitute the number that we're given. So anywhere that there's an x, we're going to substitute a negative 11 here. So f a negative 11 equals a negative 2 times a negative 11 squared plus a negative 11 minus 5. So, and all we have to do to evaluate this is plug these numbers out and check out the answer. So you've got a negative 2, negative 11 squared is 121. Plus a negative 11 is the same thing as minus 11, and minus 5 is your constant here. So negative 2 times 121 is going to be a negative 242 minus 11 minus 5. So that is going to give us the answer of, let's see, that's going to be a negative 16. So that's going to be a negative 258. So the value of this function when f is equal to negative 11 is negative 258. So it's as simple as that. I mean, really, when you're given a function equation and asked to evaluate it at a certain value, that's all you have to do. Now this next question is a little bit different, but the concept and the way you solve it is going to be the same. So we have a function g of x. And they say that g of x equals to 3x plus 4. But now they're asking us to evaluate gx plus 1. Well, they're not asking us to plug a number in. They're saying, all right, evaluate this function when the value when your independent variable is x plus 1. Well, again, it's the same thing. All you have to do is plug in this value that you're being asked to evaluate and substitute. Everywhere you see an x, you substitute this value. So everywhere that there's an x over here, we're going to plug in an x plus 1. And it's going to look like this. So you got the g x plus 1 equals 3 times x plus 1 plus 4. All right. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 3. And then a plus 4 over here. So that's equal to 3x plus 7. And that's all you have to do. And you can't combine terms anymore. You can't simplify it anymore. So g of x plus 1 is equal to 3x plus 7. So that's all you really have to do for functions when you're given a value and asked to evaluate it. You take the number or variable or the value that you're given, and everywhere you have an independent variable, you substitute it with the number that you've been given.